This is practice 3.6. Question number 1. In a long-term study, researchers collect information about diets of participants and whether or not they developed eye condition called macular degeneration. People who ate lots of greeny leaf vegetables, which are high in these things, had a lower risk of the degeneration. Based on the study, isn't it reasonable to conclude that eating leafy lean vegetables causes a reduction in the macular degeneration? So what I want to say, was this an observational study or an experiment? It's an observational study. Therefore, there is no cause and effect. It could be another confounding variable. So it could be another variable other than that green vegetable that could be confounding with the green vegetable for the results. Okay, next one. A study by Pamela Hurd of the University of Wisconsin-Madison found a link between high school grades and health. Analyzing data from the Wisconsin study, which was tracked the lives of thousands of high school students since '57, found that students with higher GPAs were more likely to be in excellent or very good health in their 60s. Does this mean that people will live healthier lives if they increase their GPA? Okay. No, once again, observational study, no cause and effect. Okay, a confounding variable there could be economic level. Maybe people that got higher GPAs were at a higher economic level, which then they also were able to live better and take better care of themselves or so forth. I don't know. So other variables. Which could be income confounds. Okay, next one, getting teachers to show up. Elementary schools in rural India are usually very small with only a single teacher. The teacher often fails to show up for work. Here's an idea for improving attendance. Offer the teacher better pay for good attendance. Give the teacher a digital camera with a tamper-proof time and date stamp, and ask a student to take the photo of the teacher when class begins and ends the day to verify they were there and they did their work. Will this work? Researchers obtained a permission to use 120 rural schools in India for the experiment to find out. Explain why it is necessary to include a control group that doesn't get financial incentives. Okay, so if we only had those that had financial incentives, we wouldn't know what their attendance would have been before that. We wouldn't know if there would be an improvement. So we need a group a control group to compare to. One group is the control with no incentive, and the other group is the treatment group, which was to get paid. Okay, so then we can compare the groups afterwards to see if it made a difference. Okay, so we can compare to see if the money made a difference with those two groups then. If we didn't have the control group, I wouldn't know if it really made a difference or not. Okay. Surveys of recent high school dropouts revealed that many of these students saw little connection between what they were studying in school and their future plans. To change this perception, researchers developed a program called Career Start, in which teachers show students how the topics they're learning about are useful in certain careers. 7 of the 14 schools in North Carolina were selected at random for the Career Starts, and the other 7 were allowed to follow the standard curriculum. Researchers followed both groups of students for several years, collected data and attendance and all that stuff, and they got results that said students at schools that used the Career Start typically did better in each of their areas. Explain why it's necessary to include a control group of schools that didn't use the program. Okay, so we need those that with the program, and we know that we need those without the program. And then at the end, compare to see if there is a difference. If we just gave everybody all the schools of the program, we wouldn't have anything to compare to see if it actually made progress and had an improvement. So we need a control group to be able to compare it to. Okay, next one. The extracts of olive oil, of avocado and soybean oils have been shown to slow cell inflammation in test tubes. Will taking avocado and soybean, I'm not sure what that word is, help relieve pain for subjects with joint stiffness due to arthritis? Okay, so it's happened in test tubes, but will it help people with arthritis? Okay, so in an experiment, they had 345 men and women were randomly assigned to either this many 300 milligrams of that or a placebo. Okay, so we had some that got the treatment and some that got the placebo. Okay, and they did this for 3 years. Could blinding be used in this experiment? Okay, blinding could be used if the participants did not know if they were getting the treatment or the placebo. Okay, so as long as the people that were getting treatment for their arthritis didn't know which one they were going to get, then blinding would be achieved there. Okay, why is blinding important? Okay, it's important so people don't improve, maybe not, but they say they do, just because they think they're getting it. Okay, so if people think they're getting a treatment, a lot of times they do have improvement, or at least they have perceived improvement. So even if they think they're getting it and it's really just a placebo, that takes that into consideration here. Okay. Okay, an experimenter interviewed subjects and rated their level of anxiety. When the subjects were randomly assigned to 2 groups, taught one group how to meditate, and they meditated daily for a month. The other group simply was told to relax more. At the end of the month, they interviewed all the subjects again and rated their anxiety level. The meditation group had less anxiety, and he said that the results were suspect because ratings were not blind. Okay, it's kind of hard you couldn't really do blinding here, because you either have those that do the meditation, or we have those that are just told to relax. Okay, so you can't really blind it. People know which way they're getting. Okay, they know which treatment they're getting. Okay, explain what this means and why it's important to consider. Okay, there is no way to blind people. Will know what treatment they're getting. Okay. If they think meditation will help improve, that is most likely what the results will say. Okay, so you can't really blind it here because you're going to know whether you're getting meditation or not. And then if people just think meditation is going to work more, whether it actually does or not, if they think it, they usually get more positive results. Okay, so it's something important consideration there. Okay, ultrasounds. Oh, I can just hear. So ultrasounds. Researchers examine the effect of ultrasounds on birth weight. That's a thing they put on the stomach so you can see the baby inside. Pregnant women participating in the study were randomly assigned one of two groups. The first group of women received the ultrasound, and the second group did not. No ultrasound. Okay. When the subjects' babies were born, their birth weights were recorded. The women who received the ultrasound had heavier babies. Okay, so these people had heavier babies, these people had light. So part A, why is it necessary to perform an experiment rather than just simply asking? Okay, experiment is needed so that any confounding variables are in both groups and therefore it's only the ultrasound that is the difference between groups. Okay, so then we don't have this confounding. We don't know, it can't be any other variables because variables are present in both groups. So we randomize it so they're both in both groups, and then we do an experiment where this is the only treatment that people are getting. Okay, part B, why is it important for the experiment to have a control group? We need a control group. Okay, which would be the no ultrasound. To compare to. If we didn't have this other group, we wouldn't know if these results are heavier or less than others. Okay. Part C, could blinding be used in this experiment? So usually people would know if they're getting an ultrasound or not. You could give the ultrasound, okay, go through the motions, but with machine turned off. And not giving pictures of the baby to the mother. Okay, so we could still go through all the motions, right? Like the people are getting an ultrasound, right? Put the little probe on the stomach and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes have the ultrasound machine on, and sometimes have it off. In that way, we could produce a little bit of blinding, so that the mother doesn't know whether they're getting an ultrasound or not. Okay, so that helps a little bit. Okay. Will cash bonuses speed the return to work of unemployed people? A State Department of Labor notes that last year, 68% of people filed their unemployment insurance found a new job within 15 weeks. This year, the state offered $500 to people filing unemployment claims if they found a job sooner, and there was a higher percentage of people who found jobs. What flaw in the design in this experiment makes it impossible to say if the bonuses were really caused by the increase? Okay, really, we're comparing one year to another year. The conditions for getting jobs a job could be different from one year to the next. Is it the $500, or is it easier to find a job? That gave better results. Okay, so we have confounding. Okay, we don't know if it's the economic conditions and easier to get a job, or if it was the incentive. Okay, so yeah, there's a flaw there with it. Okay, next one. Do you get what you pay for? In a recent study, researchers had volunteers rate the pain of electric shock before and after taking a new medication. However, half of the subjects were told the medication cost $2.50 a dose, while others were told it was only 10 cents per dose. In reality, both medications were placebos. Neither of them had any medication at all. But perceived was the more expensive or the least expensive considered better. Okay, of the cheap placebos, so 61% experienced pain relief. So they told them it was 10 cents, 61% of the people said the pain got better. Well, the more expensive one, 85% of the people perceived that they had less pain. Okay, the placebo effect. So when people thought it was more expensive, they perceived to have relieved pain. Okay. Sorry, my writing's getting a little bit. Okay, so, and when it was cheaper, they didn't have the same effects if it was cheaper. Okay, last problem. I wouldn't like this one. Researchers in Japan conducted an experiment on 13 individuals who were extremely allergic to poison ivy. So we know they're allergic to poison ivy. On one arm, each subject was rubbed with a poison ivy leaf and told that the leaf was harmless. Okay, so they believe, okay, some researchers, they had the poison ivy leaf, but told harmless. So they didn't know it was actually poison ivy. On the other arm, each subject was rubbed with a harmless leaf and told it was poison ivy. Okay, so see what happens here, right? It was actually poison ivy, but they think it's harmless, versus it was harmless, but they were told it was poison ivy. Okay, all the subjects developed a rash on the arm where the harmless leaf was rubbed. So where it was actually harmless but told it was poison ivy, they had a rash, all of them. Okay, of the 13 subjects, 11 did not have any reaction to this one. So only 2 reacted for the actual one when they actually had poison ivy. Explain how the results can be supportive of the placebo effect. When people thought It was poison ivy. They developed a rash. Even though it was harmless. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, and the other way around, even though it was poison ivy, right? They still didn't react to it because they had a thought about it that it wasn't poison ivy. Okay.